Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. I post cryptocurrency videos every day, every 24 hours, and have been doing so for almost a decade at this point, which sounds completely insane. I think we've kind of looped back all the way around, and it's kind of nice to be back on this side of the loop. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The last couple of it was definitely like about a month at this point. There was like a lot of negative sentiment within the cryptocurrency space, at least online, and a lot of that seems to be transferring back over to the other side. I've said before in a couple of other videos, I'm never not bullish on this space. Double negative. I find it very difficult at any point to have a real negative outlook on the cryptocurrency market, kind of unless I'm online reading about it. And that's mainly because I think that there are a lot of people within life, but also the cryptocurrency space, who just kind of like to be negative. It's similar to those YouTubers years ago who used to always make sad, negative, depressing cryptocurrency videos. And I think a lot of that happens now. I don't know if it's because there are a lot of people who feel like maybe they missed out on the other price movements going up, or if it's because people feel like they don't themselves have enough crypto. So they want to make other people feel bad, or are they trying to manipulate the market? I'm not really sure. Institutions are a go-go. If you've been missing any of the videos, institutions are fully, completely into Bitcoin at this point. And it's just a matter of time, seeing where the market is going to go. We haven't said this name in a while, and she's back with a vengeance. Cathie Wood is back in the cryptocurrency news, made famous by being one of the, I don't want to say earliest, but she's like a gigantic Bitcoin bull. She kind of was Michael Saylor before Michael Saylor was Michael Saylor. Cathie Wood was like the person who was always on the news, always on the interviews, talking about where Bitcoin was going to go, her conviction for Bitcoin, that she knew that it was going to pass 10,000, she knew it was going to pass 50,000, like that kind of thing. We're back in the loop of actually what Bitcoin's going to do in the future. Of course, price-wise. Price predictions have really been all over the place, and I think that's one of the more surprising things, especially from last year. The price predictions have slid over into this year, and they do all make a lot of sense as far as like where Bitcoin's price could go over the course of this year. When I tell you these numbers, it makes a lot of sense, and she's slightly bullishier than other investors who are out there. One of the main ideas, for those of you who somehow missed it, is that all the institutional support and money and governments and universities and everyone who's buying Bitcoin, they're buying up a large amount of the supply, if not all of it. And that's a huge thing that a lot of people in crypto still haven't been able to grasp. And I say that in the nicest way possible. I spoke about this videos ago. We're not going to go into it again, but it has to do with the idea of abundance and people not understanding what actual scarcity is in modern society and not really being able to comprehend the idea of digital scarcity, and that a lot of what they think is there is not actually there. Cathie Wood and many other analysts, Cathie Wood is forecasting that Bitcoin's price in 4.5 years, I have to keep reiterating it because people aren't going to get it otherwise, is that Bitcoin's price by the time we enter 2030 is going to be $1.5 million. I said that number, and I know some of you either sucked your teeth or folded your arms, or you really aren't grasping what's actually happening. As I previously stated before, one of the main arguments that people keep throwing in my direction is how much Bitcoin there is left on crypto exchanges. What you're not understanding is that that's far less than the amount of Bitcoin that was on exchanges 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 8 years ago. This number is continuously dwindling, not only from institutions, but also from you and your friends and your family. We tend to have a unicentric idea. It's just me and the market. It's me and my friends. There are over 100 million people on the planet who are in this market, which is still a fragment of the 8 billion people that we actually have on this earth. The Bitcoin will continue to dwindle. The other halvings are going to wreak havoc on the Bitcoin market as far as the supply shock. There's already not a lot. By the time, this is why, for those of you who didn't see, why we continuously keep hearing and have heard, a lot of the analysts believe that by the time we get to 2032, that Bitcoin's price will be anywhere between $5 to $10 million, because the 2032 halving, if you don't remember, is when the amount of Bitcoin that comes out of each block as a reward is only Satoshis. It is no longer a full Bitcoin. It's just dust at that point that's actually coming out. Her prediction is apparently her bull case scenario. For those of you who don't know, everyone has been doing a bear, base, and bull. Her bullish one, if everything goes correct, is $1.5 million per Bitcoin. She said the worst case scenario, the absolute worst. Everything goes wrong. Nothing is right. Everything keeps breaking. Economically, the world is a mess. She said Bitcoin is going to $300,000. That's the absolute worst case for the entirety of the cryptocurrency market. She said base, if we get no more institutions in the space, everyone begins to slow down. A lot of the buying just isn't the same like it was before. She said before we get to the next decade, 2030, if everything is just okay in the market, she says $710,000 per Bitcoin. She said Bitcoin is on pace to meet our 2030 price marks, citing increased adoption as digital gold, rising institutional investments, and a tightening supply as key drivers for the future growth of Bitcoin. She also made sure to note that people are paying attention to what the ETFs are doing. I think we kind of have this pendulum that keeps swinging back and forth, as my shoulders are, where people, for some reason, I told you, everyone seems to focus on just one thing that is happening in the news that day. She said that the ETFs are going to be a major part of these increases as well as they continue to increase large amounts of Bitcoin. She talks about the original inflows of $4 billion moving into these funds, if you missed the news also as well last year. And I mean, I'm sure it's still record breaking now. The Bitcoin ETFs within the United States, and specifically BlackRock's, was the best performing ETF of all time. Not 2024, not in 6 months, quarter one, quarter two. No. Of all time, of every ETF that there's ever been. I want everyone to really pay attention and kind of lock in to what's happening. Fiat currencies are doing terribly. They're going to disappear. They're going to continue inflating. Bitcoin is deflationary. We know on a clock when the halving is going to happen. Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million. For those of you who also do not remember, the US dollar, you can Google this, the US dollar has lost 99.99% of its value to Bitcoin in less than a decade. Bitcoin is probably, more than likely, going to be a currency of the future. If not the only one. I know we have other cryptocurrencies, but we're talking about Bitcoin. You have to be realistic about what's happening now. You have to pay attention. You have to lock in. You have to stop being distracted. You have to stop paying attention to other nonsensical things, because this is economically one of the craziest things that's happening right now. This is near the same numbers that we've gotten from other analysts. The base case is usually 600 or 650. She says 710. Every other analyst The lowest one, I forgot who it was. It was some guy on one of the analysts on Twitter. The lowest that we've heard, lowest, is that by 2029, Bitcoin would be 900,000. Cathie Wood says 1.5 million. Really understand the scarcity and the severity of what's happening and how little Bitcoin there actually is for you, your friends, and your family in the future. In 2 years, we're going to be having this exact same discussion, and a lot of people still will not be listening, and it's not my fault. You can only, you have to listen to yourself and like look logically at what's happening. Yes, all the price predictions relatively align. Hers is a bit more optimistic, but they all say multiple millions by the time we get to 2032. Hope you've all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be, I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.